Hello, beloved ones. Hamudzeme here. As always, it's my pleasure to be here with you. And today I just thought of jumping in and talk a bit about finding balance between grief and gratitude. I don't know how it is on your side. Actually, I'm curious to know what is going on your side. Just comment below and tell me what is going on. Emotionally, I felt like we are really on a roller coaster. If you have been present with what is going on, you might find yourself at times being just some emotions are showing up. You know, like we say about life that at times we move on, and there are times when we're gonna be forced to go back to some things so that we can look at them differently, so that we can release whatever that was not released at some point in time. And I feel it's really what is going on, because I realized some emotions coming through, and the interesting one was anger. I was just feeling angry about something that happened many years ago, especially around my children. Like, as most of you know, if you have come across my post, that I was separated from my children for 5 years. And some things I thought, okay, fine, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I've forgiven and I've moved on. But I realized that there are some things that are coming up. And when I sit with that, it's showing up as anger, because anger for me, I don't know what anger it is for you, or it's something that you have pushed aside because it's not womanly. It's not a character of a woman. It doesn't put you into that title of being a nice woman, you know. But I love that at times you have to use whatever you have to get to the other side. If anger is what is present, use it as a fire to burn whatever that needs to be burned at that particular moment, so that other emotions can come through. It could be love, it could be peace, but at times you have to burn whatever that is standing between you and that which you desire. And you are not going to do it by being in your head. You are not going to do it by suppressing or repressing what is showing up. I want you to sit with that and comment below and tell me where you're watching this from. Yeah. So when I came through this quote about life from Francis Weller, about life being something like we're carrying two bags, the other one of gratitude, the other one of grief. For me, it felt like it just summed it all about my life, because and it's very true when you look at it. We are here in this body form, and we know ourselves as spirit or whatever you call it. And there is that longing where it's like, I just long to be home. I just long for something. I was actually, even earlier on, I was just crying just looking at the sun, and just making love with the sun. I just found myself really tearing because something within me was just activated. There was that part of me that knows me as the sun that I was really connecting with at that particular moment. And it was just a beautiful moment to sit and cherish and realize there is still this longing to really be one with all that I know myself to be on a deeper level, but yet I am here. So it's not surprising that at the same time we go through life with this longing, like there is something missing. We long to be home. Actually, it's some of the words that at times when some parts of mine are ready to come, I'll just get this voice saying, I want to come home. And where is home? Home is in my heart. This is where we really connect with our monad, with all that we are, with the oneness. We cannot do it when we come from the head. And I know that there is this whole thing. I love to talk about it. I love being positive. I love gratitude. But I've realized that at times when you hold too much into the gratitude, you become passive. Like the spiritual passiveness, like, oh, just be grateful, understand this, instead of just saying, can we sit with what is and just feel what is showing up in the moment and acknowledge that? Because even while we are here walking this path on earth, it's also a beautiful thing that we are embodied. As much as we can deeply long for who we truly are, but there is this choice that we have made to say, I am willing to be on earth at this particular time. That longing is there, honor that. That love is there, honor that. That grief is there, honor that. Gratitude is there, honor that. There is nothing that is absent. It's just that at some point in time, our focus is on the other. So when you know that life, especially if you've gone through some shifts in life, like I've gone through some shifts in life, I normally say I've lived many lifetimes in one life. And I know how it is when someone say, just be grateful. It's like deny all that you are feeling, deny other things that just happen. And I've learned to navigate through life by being present with what is showing up in the moment. And that's why I have been able to access bliss, like truly feel blissful for at times it's 2 weeks, and at times I feel like I can't live in this state forever because you are not able to sleep. It's just extreme, and you feel like I want something that can ground me, you know. And the beautiful thing is the more you allow whatever that is showing up, you finally know how to go around. You don't sit and stay in grief for a long time and be heartbroken. You just go and acknowledge that part of you, whatever that you are feeling. Because for me, there's some of the experiences that I went through, and the heartbreak that I went through. This is what was showing up. And when I sit with that, I embrace that part of mine, this bag that I'm carrying of grief at the same time. And the more you dive deep into it, you realize that out of this, there is this beautiful thing that happened. I am here. I am able to, I have this kind of different perception than I had before. I make decisions not from the person that I was before, where I felt like I'm powerless and all that. Now I know myself as this unique, bold, sensual, and loving queen. I wouldn't have seen myself as that. I wouldn't have owned that had that not happened. You understand? It's not neither or to say, okay, fine, choose that and dismiss that. And I still remember when I talk about being passive, I still remember there was a time when I was going through divorce. And a lot of things were happening. It was just painful moments, and yeah, it was not really a smooth one. But I had to find peace in all that. But before that, there was a time when I was going through a lot of, it's kind of denial, or that gratitude, which is more passive, like just be positive, understand the other person is heading. But when someone acts in a way that dishonors or disrespects you or belittles you in any way, you're gonna get hurt. It doesn't matter where you are in life. It doesn't matter whether you are spiritual, enlightened. There is that, as long as you are walking, there is that part of you that is still here. So I was going through that point where I was sort of separating myself from what is happening. And I realized I was going through depression. I felt there was a moment when I felt depressed, and I just couldn't identify why, until I was sitting in a meditation and my warrior self showed up and just say, this person is just being an asshole. That came through while I was meditating. And I felt a lot of energy just wash through, and all of that I was trying to suppress left. And this aspect of mine was like, you are denying me. But it's that Kali aspect who knows how to transmute this energy. It's that those other emotions could show up as anger to say, don't mess up with me, So when you deny it and want to go with what is, instead of really being in your body, because your body is always in the present and it's not going to lie to you. It will share with you whatever that is happening in the moment. The question is, are you willing to embrace it, or you are going to go with whatever that you learn from your head? Because this is a journey that we cannot win from the head. This is a journey that requires us to be deep within our hearts, for us to really understand what is going through, for us to really have that conversation with our inner team, the warriors, the queen in there. There is all different aspects, the child, that they're all in there. And there is a conversation that is happening. And the question is, are you willing to be present and listen to all of that is showing through, so that you can really go through this life embodied as you, authentically you, not you trying to be something that you are not you trying to live from the head as some of the things that we have learned intellectually. And yet, when you come to life, there's nowhere where those things apply. We are going through life where it's all this emotional intelligence, as we know that is now really something that is really, really important. That's how we are able to navigate through life. Otherwise, you end up being stressed because you're just in the head and you have this perception that this is how things are supposed to be, and life is showing up differently from what we think it's supposed to be. So that's just what I wanted to share, to say embrace the journey. And if you feel it's not something that you cannot do by yourself, don't hesitate to ask for help. This is why we have this community, this tribe, which I love so very much, because it's like, show up as you are. And as I was hesitating to say, I'm feeling this emotion, should I show up? And this is the reason why this tribe is here. Unique, bold, sensual, and fierce loving queens, where we can show up as we are and not leave the other part because we feel now we have to wear a different cap. So don't forget, beautiful queens, to choose the day and time for our next tribe meeting, for the Feminine Intention meeting. I cannot wait to have this conversation, heart to heart, from me to you. Much love. Share what you took away from this conversation. Does it feel like that for you, where you feel like it's life, you have to find a balance between the two, or you still feel it has to be gratitude all the way, bliss all the way, and all that? To hell with all these other emotions and all that. Do you embrace all of that? Do you try to find the balance between the two, or it's something that is just like, oh, I have to think about that? I would like to hear your opinions. Thank you very much. And when you're on replay, just hashtag replay. Can't wait to hear from you. Bye bye.